Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to That'll Be $8, the podcast, aka the Black Awareness Rally podcast. You could be rocking with anybody else in the world right now, but you are here with us. And for that, we do appreciate your man pledge alongside B. And we welcome all of you guys to the discussion. B, what's been going on, brother? What's what's keeping you so interested and engaged right now?
Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Woo! All right. Yeah, man. I want to be good, man. I want to continue to contribute. I want to teach. I want to learn. I want to help. So that's pretty much it, man. That's what's keeping my heart engaged, and just want to lay down at the end of the day. Feel like I gave it my best. How about you?
Same thing, man. Just trying to continuously make things happen. So along that same mindset.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate it, Elliot. We trying, we trying. Uh, so yeah, man. That's pretty much that. Apologize for everybody getting started a little late today. Hopefully, the family continues to trickle in, and we have a good time as usual, and try to learn as usual. So
Yes.
now come through, share this, share this, share this, share this. If you believe in it, share it with somebody you think would appreciate it. Share it, share it, share it. So, yeah, man. What you got?
Not much, man. I just want to know the consensus, man. The holidays are coming up a couple of weeks, less than a couple of weeks,
Mm-hmm.
actually. I mean, are you feeling the spirit? Like, what? How do you feel about the holidays in 2020 quarantine edition?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't feel particularly festive, so I don't know right now. I know we got 11 days to my birthday and 12 to the big day. So I don't know, man. I ain't really been feeling all that excited about much. How about you?
Well, I'm in a household with young kids, so um,
They feeling the feeling?
they. I mean, I don't think you can, I don't think you can really tone down their excitement for it.
Mm-hmm.
So being around them, you felt definitely feel the excitement for it. But it's just, I guess, it's just among the grown folks. It's like I don't know, man. It's not that warm, tingling sensation people normally get around this time of year. I guess because
Yeah.
they know it's going to be toned down, as far as family getting together and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of the activities that people are normally able to do, they probably won't be able to participate in this year. So I don't know, man, but
Yeah.
hopefully we find a way to enjoy ourselves and make the absolute most of it. So
Yeah. I think get with fam would be a good thing. It's just as we all know, we got a lot going on with that particularly. So you don't want to put nobody at risk just because you want to get out there and have a good time. And man, it's just unfortunate, man. It's an unfortunate time, but there's still some joy to be found in it. Still some things to be hopeful for. See, the vaccines are starting to roll out. The FDA has approved the Pfizer vaccine to be delivered in America.
yeah, I think I was looking at some local news. I know some of the hospitals in the Tampa Bay area they're going to start getting them this week. So
Well, that was pretty quick.
and I think some of the frontline workers are going to start getting theirs first.
Yeah, man.
So like employees of the hospital, will be kind of first in line. I think in Florida, there like the nursing homes
Mm-hmm.
um, are kind of a top priority list as well. So we'll see. I mean, I know that you know we've if anybody has been following you this week, you've kind of been um, going hard at with the vaccination piece. Um,
What's that?
you know, I don't know. I don't know if I'm surprised that as many people are anti-vax. It's definitely understandable, but I'm starting to see that even though this vaccine is going to be readily available, I think probably by mid 2021
Mm-hmm.
for the masses. I don't. Seems like there's a large contingent of people who will not be participating. So
Well,
I'm
like you
pretty sure
said,
you probably won't save it for another show because you got a lot of you've done a lot of research and talked to a lot of different people.
nah,
And
man, ain't really much to say about that. I just my sentiment has always been, I want things to get back to normal, and I don't understand how the community is going to help since excuse me, since they don't want to wear masks, since they don't want to socially distance, and they don't want to take a vaccine. If
I
there's a
think
fourth way to get it done, somebody please let me know.
well, I think for those people, things are normal because they continue to do things as if nothing is happening. So for them, we're the ones that aren't normal. Like they're like, I've been doing everything. I'm I'm used to doing. Y'all the one that's over here tripping. So
Yeah, man, it's just it's a different ball game when it hit your front door.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
And I mean the death toll is continuing to rise, and it's I don't know, man. It's crazy situation that I don't think anybody could have. I mean, just think about it. This time last year, we was chilling. Like it was like nothing.
wasn't nothing
This
going
wasn't
on.
even on anybody's radar this time last year.
Right,
I think
right.
I was getting ready to head up to New York at like this time last year,
I think he
and
was.
yeah, and I was hanging out. You know,
I think you were talking about going to the Brooklyn Arena,
yeah.
the
Yeah, I
Barclays.
went to the Barclays. I did it in the proper order. The year before, I went to Madison Square Garden, so I had to give the OG love before I went to the
The
new
new
school.
school.
Yeah, so I was downtown Manhattan at the Garden first, saying I got my priorities right, and then last year I was at the Barclays with with the young hip hoppers in
The
Brooklyn.
young hip hoppers.
Saw some Brooklyn action. With a little domestic dispute in the middle of the street.
Really? Are you?
Yes, yes,
For
yes,
some
yes.
reason, I don't believe what you're saying. What up, Quanika? What up,
I got
Wale?
witnesses. I got witnesses that can vouch
It sounds like you just reading
for
the
how it
script.
went down.
You reading the script from a movie that black people love.
Not believe me,
Can
believe me.
anybody
I was
validate
like,
what he's saying? Isn't
I got the real Brooklyn experience, son. The real Brooklyn experience over some Christmas gifts.
well, that sound about right. That sound about right. Christmas gifts. That sound about right. That sound like that's in conjunction with the narrative.
As I said, I don't know if it was a married couple or if there was this dating, but let me put the whole story together, right?
Okay.
So it was after the game. We was trying to catch the train back up to where we were,
Mm-hmm.
and then so this young lady and this young man, they were in the middle of the street or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess the lady thought that the man was looking at other women while they were shopping for Christmas gifts, right?
Story
And
is
so
old as time.
homeboy was like, I wasn't looking at other women, I was looking at the mannequin. Like, like in the cool Brooklyn voice or whatever. And then he was like, yeah. And I went to your Instagram. You got cats on there with no shirts on. Like,
What you had to say about that?
And so like Buddy had a whole bunch of Christmas gifts and he just dropped the Christmas gifts and walked off and she picked them up and that was that. So
These sound like
that
some.
was my experience in Brooklyn.
These sound like some colorful characters here.
Hey,
Hey, somebody just called you out again in the chat. You might want to
what
address that.
what are they saying? Like I can't see it.
Elliot say, you got all the time for all that traveling. Why don't you gonna come up there and see him on the court? Stop ducking
Oh,
him.
come on, man.
Stop
Elliot,
ducking
I was
him.
in Chicago. You ain't pull up. I was in Chicago. You ain't pull up.
Smoking the city. Smoking the city. Listen, man. I can't wait to get back to the court, man. I got to do something, dude. Like, I'm really, really, really ready for this to be over. I'm really ready to hop back on the plane. Just so ready for this all to be over, man. So, as soon as I can get that Moderna vaccine, I'm taking that Moderna vaccine. So,
Working with the sister, huh?
listen, man. Listen, she got a cosign from one of my best friends. She getting a cosign from Dr. Fauci. She on Twitter making Fox News lose their mind. I don't know what else people want, man. Like,
Yeah.
she done took it. She say she's straight. She out here calling out racism and bigotry in the scientific industry. So it's just beyond me why people are refusing to see
Fighting
that.
from all ends.
Yeah, because
What city does this young lady live in?
right now she's in North Carolina because she's the lead scientist for the National Institute of Health, and they're headquartered in North Carolina.
I'm pretty sure you looked that up diligently.
I didn't have to. I mean, they trying to get there. I mean, because we did the Black Awareness Rally pageant one, and she was on there, and then like I said, Glenn knows her, and Glenn's co-host slash mentor on his podcast knows her. Like they was like, yeah, man, she the homie. Like, we know her personally, and you know what I mean. Those guys are definitely going to step up and take the vaccine as soon as they can. They're in the lab with it. You know what I mean? There is no 100% effective solution to any problem. So, I know people are worried about catching HIV and getting a cleft lip and dying from the vaccine, but those are extreme cases. And do what you think is best, man. I just know for me, I want to start getting out here and not being worried about what can happen, because we disproportionately getting killed by the virus. So I don't want to run that take that risk. Let us know how that works. B. Sure, Quanika. Okay. I mean, you had to take a vaccine to go to public school in Florida, so it's not different. But anyway, yeah. Going to New York for New Year's Eve does sound awesome, or just going in general, kind of miss it. Oh, Elliot's still going up, talking about he got some smoke in the city for you.
Man,
Wait, did y'all lose yesterday?
we're not gonna talk about it, man.
Y'all lost? Who y'all played?
LSU. Dog, chill out, man. That one hurt too, man. It hurt for real. Like it's been a while since. It's been a while since I felt like physically bad after getting lost. Last night was one of those times. I was like, man.
Oh boy, Wally, thank you, sir, for the gift that just keeps on giving. Players, man, why you play? Y'all see this? This how long me and players been friends. What, that was back in 2009. when y'all had that run and everybody just knew y'all was gonna have that three-peat? Was it two? Y'all just had one. Anyway,
It was a year between championships.
yeah, that's the year Tebow had beat Saban. The first time they met up in the SEC championship with Saban and Urban Meyer at the helm. That player just
Well,
huh?
well, see, the thing is that I mean, if you go back the year before when I was kind enough to host you at my house.
Right. That's the year I'm talking about. Was that 08 or 09?
That was well, that was they won it the first year.
Yeah,
I think
that's
they
the
won it
year.
the year at my house.
Yeah, that's the year I was trying to hip everybody to. That was the year back in undergrad, I like just stopped watching sports and TV altogether. And then you used to keep up regularly with people, so y'all used to get my sports news from Pledge because Pledge used to keep up with his teams. And every now and then I like catch a game with him. So UF was, they were unavoidable. That hype train was running full tilt, full steam ahead. And that's the Tebow days, the Aaron Hernandez days. Then y'all had we were talking about Percy Harvin last night. Wasn't he on that team too?
Percy Harvin, I think he was a part of the second championship.
I got you. But yeah, he's watching the UF play Bama. This is my first time watching a football game in probably like 4 or 5 years. And man, I just came away thoroughly impressed with the Alabama team. And I was like, Florida gonna be in trouble next year. So that's the story of how I decided to root for Alabama. They're a very, very sound defensive team, very physical, very fundamentally secure. And Florida was just out there like, oh, we faster than everybody. I was like, yeah, Florida, y'all gonna be in trouble next year. Pledge ain't want to believe me. He didn't want to believe me. Ever since then. And y'all supposed to be looking good enough to see us next week.
Last night's game just softens the blow for what's eventually going to happen next week.
Are they going to stop discussing Haskins or Trask after yesterday?
Well, he threw for over 400 yards, but he had 3 turnovers. So,
woo.
I mean, yeah. So they're going to stop discussing him for the Heisman. So it's going to be either the quarterback or the wide receiver for Alabama.
Listen, go ahead and give it to the QB. That they can have it. We need to put some more respect on the QBs coming out of Alabama. We need to change that narrative. But nah, man, I ain't know y'all took that L last night.
Yeah, man. I mean, nobody 24-point favorite. LSU was in all types of turmoil this week. From players opting to go to the draft early, players finding out about their coaches' political affiliations.
AKA he racist?
All this stuff, swirling around. They started a freshman quarterback for the first time. Like, it was his first start ever
against
in
y'all?
football. Yeah. Ooh. Max Johnson, Brad Johnson's son. Brad Johnson, who won a Super Bowl for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
His son started for LSU yesterday or last night. First time, and I don't know, man. It was just bad. As I said, I was trying to do this show as therapy to get over that loss, but obviously,
Wally ruined that for you.
Want to bring it up?
Hey, man. Listen, that's why we're a family. Family. Real friends tell you when you face dirty. Real friends tell you when you face dirty. All right, let's get into it, man. We started late. We ain't gonna be before you long, like the elders say in the church. We got one topic, and we're gonna ride this one out. So, Black Awareness Rally. Let me run it. We're gonna start with the Black Awareness Rally. We got McDowell's. We got International Cuts. We got Sexual Chocolate. Randy Watson in the building. Mr. Wiley McFarland, the barber over at International Cuts.
And he broadcasting live from the Bucks game with it.
You know what I mean? So
shout out to him.
With the real-time updates.
Play by play.
Right. So we appreciate that, brother, for keeping us up to date. We gotta get a Zoom next week for the game. So I can watch y'all real time lose it.
As I said, man, my last night, if it's one thing last night did, it's like I have zero expectations for this week.
I wanted y'all to
So
be
I don't.
proud and all that. I wanted y'all to come in there with your head held high, your chest out.
I mean, if we would have won last night, there was a chance I would have been like, yeah, let's get it. But now I'm like, let's just go ahead and get this thing over with. I'm saying, like, let's just.
I need to check out the score now. But all right. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move
We
on.
had a chance. We missed a game time field goal.
Oh,
Had
so it was a
to.
dog fight.
Yeah, it was dope.
Ooh. Did they snatch your heart at the end because you thought you was gonna win? Because you was like,
No, they
we
were
better than this.
down. The Gators are down pretty much the whole game. So
Dang, a wire to wire victory. All right. Well, there's that. Okay. Well, anyway. Yep. All right. Cool. All right. Well, as showcased in the opening music for the show, today is Ella Josephine Baker's birthday. Um, she is no longer with us. She's an ancestor now. But Ella Baker is the godmother of the Civil Rights Movement. Born in 1903 on December 13th in Norfolk, Virginia, to a wonderful black family, and specifically a wonderful black grandmother who would tell her stories of slave revolts, and that undoubtedly lit a fire under Ella Baker to go on to become the godmother of the Civil Rights Movement. She was a part of the Harlem Renaissance. She was part of the NAACP. She was a part of the SNCC, or Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. Um, if you got kids that you want to teach about some powerful women, some women that believed in grassroots organization, Ella Josephine Baker is the place to start. She got the game on lock, and we don't want to let a day go by without we're trying to recognize the people for what they've done, not just living, but also those of us that passed. Now, let me be clear. I ain't no expert on Ella Baker. I ain't know who she was before the pandemic, so you know what I mean. It ain't that you got to be an expert, but it's never too late to learn. So check her out. Her story is definitely motivating. If you guys are just looking to learn more about how you can get involved and work on the ground. What you got, Pledge?
yes, I am going to give a shout out to Miss Rashida Jones. She for MSNBC. She will be the first Black woman to lead a cable news network. This week, it was announced that she's the senior vice president for NBC and NBC News,
Mm-hmm.
she will be the next president. So shout out to her. With all the news and fake news that's going on around, it's good that we have a sister at the helm that's leading, the charge. I believe she was, a big proponent of getting Joy Reid, the Reid Report, who's always putting out good information on MSNBC. So shout out to Miss Rashida Jones on that accomplishment, and a very pivotal position as we try to decipher what's right and wrong in this misinformation age.
Hey, good news. Uh, Definitely want to respect that. Let's go arts and entertainment. The sexual chocolate segment. Uh, Now this one I'm gonna take with a grain of salt, and I'm doing this because I'm trying to turn over a new leaf until January 1st. So work with
It's
me.
gonna stop then.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop because
I'm saying it's gonna stop
yes,
on the
yes,
31st.
this is gonna stop if I don't have
So it's only
some.
gonna last for 2 weeks.
If I listen, I started a week ago. That's y'all fault. So we're finna do a celebrity, and we just finna look at how much money he made, how much charity he gave, and his influence, and we're just gonna say he did real good with his life. So here we go. Here's my first shake at it. BET founder Bob Johnson and AMC Networks to rebrand Black Focus streaming service as UMC. Excuse me, rebrand Black Focus streaming service UMC as All Black, and it's spelled ALLBLK. So, everybody's favorite black billionaire is doing some charitable works, trying to help a streaming service rebrand. Is he going to make money off of it? That doesn't matter because he's doing charitable works. And that should be an inspiration to us all to make more money. All right. Oh, and do charity. It's not just about making money, but doing charity. There you go. How'd that do, Pledge? What?
Man, if there was ever a backhanded compliment, that was one. So,
Well, go Bob Johnson. Wait, no, wrong black guy.
Arsenio Hall.
My bad. I get them confused. Now, what I want to know, just real talk. What type do you think that could be a competitive streaming service?
I don't know, man. The streaming services, the it's starting to get real packed.
Yeah.
With a lot of the streaming services that are coming out. Like I know Quibi, they just shut down maybe about a month ago because they couldn't get anything off the ground. And I didn't know this until like a couple of weeks ago, but BET Plus, like you have to pay for that. Like you can't use your
cable subscription
to do BET Plus. I mean, so it's I don't know, the streaming services is starting to get a very crowded field. As far as people that are trying to come in and profit off of it. So, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll be watching. That is a streaming service that he created, but we'll see.
It's definitely a crowded field, though. So, I mean, it's tough to compete for that dollar nowadays.
Right. All right, what you got? What you got for the sexual chocolate segment?
Hey, man, basketball's back, man. The NBA is back. And of course the person that's making headlines is your boy.
LeBron James?
Nah.
Jason Tatum?
Nah, your boy Kyrie.
Marcus Smart. Oh, he's donating stuff. Okay, what happened? Go ahead, tell us.
No.
I'm saying, what does this have to do with the Black Awareness Rally segment?
I'm just saying basketball's back. That's I'm happy.
That's how you feel? Well, I guess since we brought up Kyrie wants $25,000 donated to charity. So that's a good thing. All right.
Oh, the $25,000 fine that he had to pay because he disrespects members of the media. I'm just saying, though, think about it, though. He's in Brooklyn, right?
Listen,
so, man, if any team has...
I didn't critique Bob Johnson while we're critiquing Kyrie Irving's desire to donate $25,000 to charity.
No, I'm saying if any city has black journalists, up-and-coming, young, hungry members of the media trying to get on, it has to be Brooklyn, right? And what does Kyrie say to those members of the media? Y'all not worth my attention. That's what he says.
We don't know that that media room was filled with black journalists. We don't know that.
Pretty sure Brooklyn, if any team has black journalists, it's Brooklyn. And also, they were talking about how Boston has a lack of black journalists. So,
okay, well, okay, all right,
sports journalists, I should say.
Okay, fine. But
but basketball is back though. Even though a lot of local teams have been shut down due to quarantine, I digress.
Yeah, the feed just froze. Hold on. Oh, it's back. Player, you still with me? Do some movements. Yeah, you still with me? All right. The feed looking a little funny. All right. Let's see if this helps. Let's move. The community moment, the McDowell's moment. What you got?
I'm gonna go. There's this movement. It's called the 110 movement, and it is to in 10 years they want to hire and promote 1 million Black Americans over the next 10 years. And there's like 37 major corporations that are kind of behind this,
Mm-hmm.
like IBM, ADP, Stryker, Nike, Walmart, Target, Lowe's. But basically, what they want to do, these 37 companies, they want to identify young Black talent and really, really help them enhance their skills and give them, not just, normal everyday jobs, but, very highly skilled positions. So they want to prepare them and then also place them in the positions. And they want to do that with 1 million, Black people, and also, and they say 110 because they want 1 out of every 10 people that they hire to be African American to fill these roles and positions. So that is a major thing. It was kind of all over LinkedIn, to where these corporations have stepped up and say, we need to, identify Black talent, and we need to train it, and we need to promote them. So shout out to all these companies. Nike's on there, so that's a beautiful thing to see. Especially with everybody standing in line to buy Jordans yesterday.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
What? Am I wrong?
Why are we shading MJ?
I'm not shading MJ. I'm saying he's on the list.
Okay.
I'm happy to see that.
Okay.
It balances it out.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
It balances it out.
Compliment sandwiches. That's what we do here until January 1st. Yeah, I see it, Kwanika. His screen is frozen. I'm not sure how to get that rectified. Let me see if I can do something real quick. Hey, players, turn your camera off and turn it back on. See what happened? Let me see if
That work?
let's see. Yeah, it worked. All right, cool.
Okay, cool.
All right, thanks, Kwanika. All right, for my community moment, it might sound like a sports moment, but it's Atlanta, so sports and Black people. The Atlanta Hawks are turning to Black-owned banks for $35 million refinance on their practice complex. And some of those banks might include Citizens Trust, and with the national spotlight on systemic racism, a lot of people are looking to support the Black-owned banking sector. Well, yeah, I guess that's the right way. Is that the right way to put it? Black-owned banking sector? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll rock with it.
Yeah. So a lot of people are putting their money where their mouth is, and Atlanta is contributing to the wave of investment by finalizing an agreement to refinance the Emory Sports Medicine Complex with a syndicate of 11 Black-owned banks. So a lot of people getting their back scratched, and we appreciate it, man. Shout out to the Hawks and the 11 Black banks for getting business done. Hopefully we get to see more of that in the coming days, coming months. And I guess keep an eye out for Greenwood Bank. That's the bank that Killer Mike is starting with some help from some of his friends.
Yeah, you can. I don't think they start. I don't think you can start being a member of it now, but I think you can sign up for the wait list to be a part of it. So the signups have started for, I think it's bankgreenwood.com, where you can go and get more information about setting up an account to bank with them brothers. So
Okay. All right. So if y'all in, man, it's a lot of Black banks now. I guess there's no more excuses about that. And I saw something the other day that I can't find the article, but I know who it was. Slutty Vegan, the restaurant up here that has blossomed to be a media darling, which is a vegan restaurant owned by an African-American lady who's also a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. She was able to secure $1 million in funding from I think it was Citizens Trust Bank, which is a black bank, which is also found in South Florida. And she was able to open up $1 million headquarters here in Atlanta for a Slutty Vegan franchise. So, man, there's a lot of people trying to make things happen, and they're trying to make it happen with black banking. So, shout out to
What's the name
both
of that
of
restaurant again?
Slutty Vegan, SLUTTY, and Vegan, VEGAN. Now, let me
I thought
warn
that's
you.
what you're saying. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If anybody is coming to town and willing to patronize, be warned. It is so popular that there is usually a wait, and it is good. It is pretty good. So, it'd be money well spent. And she's the owner is very, very big about doing community service. So your money would definitely be going into the communities around the multiple locations that she has. So shout out to them. Slutty Vegan, Citizen Trust Bank, Tony Wrestler, the owner of the Hawks, and the 11 banks that are owned by black folk out here doing the real work. All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it. We 45 minutes in, which is crazy. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Our only topic for today, which will be rather short, because I don't want to take up everybody's time. Is Trump responsible for the tyranny that we're seeing, all these acts of violence, all the craziness that we're seeing going around the country, specifically in Washington, D.C. yesterday? And that was like I guess I wouldn't say the needle on the haystack, but it's just the latest episode of some delusionality by his supporters. It's the latest episode of what blind followership will get you. The latest episode of how disregarding new information about somebody that you're giving the halo effect treatment to can have you doing some irrational stuff. What caught me and Pledge's attention this week was Donald Trump for the what must be the millionth time requesting his supporters send him more money so that he can continue to mount these lawsuits that I believe he's only doing or introducing and having drafted up so he can continue to get more money from his supporters. Because as we saw, was that Friday, the Supreme Court threw out another one of his lawsuits. All the state courts are throwing out all his lawsuits. And his own attorney is even like, yo, we're going to stop mounting defense efforts. So, players, why do you think people continue to send this man money? Because he's already gotten over $200 million from supporters.
The only thing I can say is, man, they just don't want to admit that they took an L, and they want to be, they want to somehow seem to be on the right side of things. And it's tough to see that somebody that you built up as, this huge figure is, is not immortal. So, I mean, I can't get inside their minds to understand like why they go so hard for this dude. I really can't understand that.
It's racism.
But I mean, I was watching something this week to where the former chair of the RNC, and I forget the brother's name, but he's been
one of the governors
been actively speaking out against Trump through his entire presidency. Was like, hey man, like this dude, this whole fundraising thing is nothing but him just stealing money. Because unless somebody gives over $8,000, none of the money goes to his legal defense at all. So somebody has to donate over $8,000, and then if it's not over $8,000, 60% of it goes to his new Save America PAC, that was started after the election. And then the other goes to the RNC. so they can spend the money however they want to spend it. And it's like in the disclaimer at the bottom of whatever website people go to spend money. And some people were saying that they didn't know that it would be on a recurring basis. So like it's almost like, hey, let's get these $10, but
Every month
we gonna take this $10 out,
until
every
you
month.
stop us.
So I mean, as I said, it's hard to justify the mindset that goes behind supporting somebody like him, but obviously it's
It's a con job.
It's a con job. It really is, and I don't know if people will finally see this as a way to where like people kind of see what he was really all about the whole time, which was about himself.
They're not accepting it though. Like that's the problem. You know what I mean? We'll get into that a little later. But what's the second event? The second event that happened last night and is still happening and started, I think it was Thursday or Friday. There's been this another demonstration. I'm gonna call it rioting and looting because that's what they've been doing by Trump supporters in Washington D.C. and they claim they're defending the name of Trump and the honor of Trump and his election efforts, but they're just rioters and looters that are doing things like going up to historically black churches that hold a special place in the movement, and they're literally vandalizing the churches. And so, whereas that would have been some black people and they'd have been calling for, secret agents of the federal government to come down and beat up on the protesters and the rioters and the looters, it's not getting the headline news that it deserves because it's the Proud Boys and the MAGA supporters that are destroying and defacing these churches. Now, what's awesome to me is it gives me some research that I can do after the show to further demonstrate how duplicitous America really is, especially in the black in the Christian church. Because why in God's name would you deface a church and then also call yourself an evangelical? So I've been doing a little research on that, just getting some insight, some of the history of that label and how it only applies to white people for some reason. But what I can tell you guys so far is if you ever want to see what it is that I'm always preaching about or what I'm afraid of, or why am I tripping when I be talking about black celebrities, is because at any moment in time, it can turn into a MAGA situation and us turning into MAGA supporters. And I know you guys, think that's just the craziest thing ever. But let's look at 5 years ago. Did we think Trump would be the person that he is today? I mean, it's just always something that you have to be vigilant about. We have very few examples that make it to national news, but we do have examples of, black figures and personalities ascending to this messianic figure status, aka this Jesus type guy that people just follow and have to praise. And Trump is just the latest iteration of that. It's just that it's unfortunate because he's gotten to that position based on fear, hate, and violence. And watch your mind and watch your back. Because, black people and racists love to attack black churches. And you ain't gonna find a more peaceful place to be in for black people. Like, it used to be watch night was a clear indication to white folk not to mess with black people while they're in church. But we had enough instances in American history to let us know that they don't care about that no more. All right, we used to let y'all have sanctuary in the black churches during slavery, but since the civil rights movement and the Jim Crow era, they don't care nothing about that. So What we talking about, man? What should we do? How should we blame Trump for this?
For what?
The
For
tyranny that's running rampant, and this, you know, hey, if y'all get a chance, get this small book called On Tyranny, ON, and then Tyranny, Tyranny, and that talks
well,
about 20 different ways that tyranny manifests itself in a society. But go ahead.
no, I'm saying I think people have to understand the mindset of why he is continuing to delegitimate, make this last election illegitimate, and that is to, and he proves why he's stoking these flames is so he can
Just
raise money.
just get money.
That's the only reason why he's saying,
He
hey,
don't care about the
let's fight
election.
this.
Nope.
Let's I need your help. We've been done wrong. Let's find a way to get this thing corrected,
Right.
and that is to raise money, and also it is for him to keep control over the Republican Party.
You think he really
Like,
cares about the Republican Party? You think he gives a shit
he
about it?
he doesn't. He just wants to hold power over it, and that's what a lot of people have said about the other Republican leaders who have not been able to come out and speak out against him, is that in private they know that he's wrong, they know that he's bad for the party, but they consider it political suicide for them to go against them
Yeah.
because of how entrenched his base is
Yeah.
in him, is that as soon as he says, hey, we're not rocking with this person no more, they won't win an election. Like, that's how riled up he has his base, that people are, leaders, people that are considered leaders, people, who we elect to lead us and make, smart decisions about how life plays out, are saying, hey, I can't speak bad about this guy in public because he'll hold it against me, and I will not be able to get elected again. So the question is how long will he be able to have power over that party?
As
Or
long
how
as he
long will people continue to um you know fight whatever battle it is? I mean, if you're willing to put your money behind somebody, or if you're willing to put
die
your
for,
freedom at at risk,
yeah.
I mean, I don't there's no other way you can show devotion than that. Those are the two strongest ways that you can show devotion to somebody.
Yeah, man. True. I think everything you said is true. There is no disagreement for me on that. I just want people to be careful, and I guess an answer to how long. I mean, look at Hitler. I mean, Hitler, he didn't even make it out of his reign, his regime. He quote unquote died, and before the regime could be ended, and never faced any criminal persecution for what he did. Trump has already hinted that he's going to disappear as soon as January 20th is over, and we're going to never hear from him again. We don't know. Well, it's possible. It's possible, but I know it certainly won't get as much media coverage, as it does now, because it won't be as salacious. But what we're going to be left to deal with as Americans that are trying to navigate this new landscape is all the people that were adamant about supporting the guy. And, I don't think that you can out yourself as a MAGA supporter and then go on with business as usual after the election, or when Joe Biden starts. I don't think that you could sit and argue that Trump is some kind of messianic figure and then try to go back to business as usual on January 20th. And so I think what we have to ask ourselves is what are we looking forward to? How do we look to engage with the rest of, or the other side, I guess, I don't know what they call it, moving forward? And I personally don't think that there's any way to engage with them because their ideology is so far away from logic. Their pride, their egotism, none of it is rooted in fact. And I don't think we should ever have to sit and try to have a discussion with them. I think we should look to unify as many people on the outskirts of the political space. I think we should look to engage and unify as many people that have been apathetic and antithetical to political engagement as possible, so that we can get some things done in the name of progress. Because I don't know if anybody knows, you can't reason with Republican folk that are, these conservative folk. Let me say that, the conservative folk. There's nothing they believe is rooted in any fact. The only thing they think about is money and some nostalgic mythical history that we can trace back to the 1950s. And so,
Well, evangelicals, I think their strong allegiance to them is the pro life thing. But as I said, that is, even when Republicans are in power,
they
people
don't care
still
about
vote
that.
for it.
Yeah,
So
like you said, they're not passing any laws to combat anything. They're not. They don't actually do anything about that. What I have learned is the Gerald Ford election of '76 or '76, yeah, '76 was the year or the election that the term evangelicals got slapped on white conservative Southerners, and that was a result of all of these different types of Christian Southerners coming together to vote for him because he was somebody that they thought they could align with. And it was also somebody that they thought they could get behind to manipulate legislation. And so, there was a magazine, a big publication. I don't know if it was Time Magazine. It was somebody, real big and prominent at the time, slapping the label on this large voting block of different types of Christians supporting Gerald Ford. And ever since then, it stuck. But in the 50s, we had a lot of, zealot fundamentalist Christians opening up these schools around the South that were dedicated to segregation, this unhealthy view of the Bible, and racism, opening up all around the South, just trying to get people to maintain this superiority that was rooted in racism. And so, that was all as a direct pushback to the civil rights movement and the echoes and the feelings that black folk was coming to take over stuff. So all of this stuff is rooted in racism, man. I just can't reconcile that. There's nothing somebody could tell me otherwise about their ideologies, about this conservatism, especially a white dude in the South or a white Christian dude. I mean, you gotta do a lot of talking before I make my decision. Be a white conservative Christian dude. But I'm gonna just be clear. My stance is you not for me and you want me to die. Because everything they believe in is about controlling black autonomy and controlling black bodies and controlling black thought. And I'm not with the shits. Quanika, she asked a question earlier. She'll never understand why they hate us so much. Like why? It's a fear of being replaced. It's a fear of this status or position or rank that they made up in their mind being debunked, replaced, removed. And that can be traced back as far as the 1300s, 14th century. So it's all based on nobody knowing what the hell was going on in Africa, nobody thinking that Egypt was a part of Africa and calling it the dark continent, and then finding out with the discovery of Mansa Musa that shit ain't what they thought it was for the black continent. And oh crap, look at all the stuff that they're doing over here. Oh crap, we've been living in these huts and caves and just living in squalor in these kingdoms, and we thought we was doing the damn thing, but you got people over here taking baths and having street lights. So I mean, you see it in sports. Look at sports, Quanika. Look at any sports story, players. Like any sports stories where it's about segregation and integration and white boys not wanting the black boys to come in and play the sport. because the white boys were afraid that once the black boys started playing, they was gonna start losing. That's just flat out it. They know that they're not worthy. They know that if they give somebody else a fair chance, that they gonna lose. That's I don't know what they think they're gonna lose, but that's another conversation about socialism and capitalism. So
Yeah, I mean it's really all about power.
that's it.
It's really always all about power, and maintaining control. And as I said, and that's what 45 is doing with his move. He's flexing power, saying, "Look here, Republican Party. No matter what, I control this,
Mm-hmm.
and that if you guys want to continue to get elected, it's going to go through me."
Right.
That's why people are scared to speak out against him, because that's why people on the Republican side are scared to speak out against him, because they know that if they lose his support, they lose the support of voters. So
Yep.
I mean,
It's just like you said, man. It's just about power. It's just about maintaining stature.
yeah,
And unfortunately for us down here on the ground, quote unquote, we have so many people fighting for them because they think as long as they support them, they get some allegiance to some mythical ideology that has never been true. When the reality is, you should be talking about, well, why don't I have enough? Why don't I have why don't I have $25 minimum wage, federal minimum wage, when the price of inflation has gone up so much nonstop since the 40s? Like, why aren't we giving universal health care when the other 36 developed countries on the planet have universal or free health care? Why aren't we giving out free college tuition all across the country? Why am I not getting access to the things that I need to live the life that I think is necessary? Why do I have to fight with somebody that I think is going to take my stuff if they're given a fair chance? So those aren't rooted in Democrat and Republican ideas. That's a class issue, and I know players don't like that conversation, boy. You don't want that smoke.
what conversation?
Oh, I don't know. Classism, socialism, and the merits of that, and other ways of doing business. But I mean, it's all a moral issue, man. Like, it's all a moral issue. At the end of the day, that's all it boils down to. The hearts of men valuing property over lives. So
Yeah, I mean, and that's where the "Make America Great Again." That's where the slogan came from. Is that, and that's where fear comes into play. Is that I was reading, I forgot what I was listening and reading something this week, and they're like, you know, there's such thing as an American dream. And
you need to. I mean to cut you off.
no, go ahead.
Watch Requiem for the American Dream on YouTube. It's free, guys. It's a documentary by Robert Reich, who's a leading U.S. economist, and you guys could watch that because it speaks to what I think you're pointing to, like this fake notion of the American dream and the death of it, and the death of the people who pursue it.
And the thing is that older white men, the country has always favored them, older white men, and
that own property.
That own property, that the country has always favored them. And now, not only Black people, Latin people, Latino people, women. Now that it's kind of more of an open competition, they're losing kind of their stronghold that they've always had. Older white men are losing the stronghold that they've always had. The advantages that have always favored them or whatever, they're losing that because now the access is open to a little bit more people.
Right.
And so to resist that, they're saying, hey, shut down the border so no other immigrants can come in. And let's kind of hold this power that we have together, whatever. Let's not let other people come in and compete, because once it's a fair competition or whatever, we don't want that. We want to maintain that stronghold that we've always had. And so that's kind of the mindset of, hey, make America great again, is that, hey, the advantage that we've always had or whatever, let's get back to that.
Right. Which
And because
should
the
teach
reason why you're
everybody.
not winning is
Yeah.
because other people have come in and taken your dream.
Right. And I'm glad that you pointed it out. This is why I don't. I'm starting to see this more and more and more and more. The more research I do, there is no nation that is America. There's a country because of the. No, there's no country. There's no country. There is a nation, and that just only is decided by boundaries that have been set. But there is no country. There is no unifying mythos. There is no shared history, because the exact reason that players just itemized. The men that owned property and that founded this country, they don't care about the country. They didn't believe in a country. They saw it as an opportunity to make money for themselves, and something that they fought to the death to have access to, sole access to, exclusive rights to. And now that we're seeing all these people show up from different parts of the world and different groups participate in some positions that they thought they had exclusive rights to, they want to exclude them. Now, why do I say there's no actual country here in America? Because if you ask anybody that studies world politics and comparative studies and that stuff, if it was really about America, if there really was a country, you would be inviting the best and brightest and encouraging competition so that America can compete on an international stage and return to some false sense of prominence that they used to have by having the smartest, brightest, richest, most accomplished, happiest citizens, healthiest citizens, cleanest nation. And we don't strive to have any of that stuff here. Well, if you look at the government, we don't strive for that. We strive for access to wealth and by any means necessary. When in other countries, let's take Sweden for example, people are happier, life expectancy is different, free college education, free health care, universal health care. Those are the things that people should be competing for. What I don't understand is why America, or the people that pretend that there's a country, continuously try to trick people into thinking that they should fight for some ideology, when the truth is it's only about a select few old white dudes and their mentees maintaining a stranglehold on the access to the quality of life that they have. It's not about you voting. Like, this is where a lot of conspiracy theories get born from, because of the truth. It really isn't about everybody having access. So that's why, I understand why some people say they shouldn't vote, because it don't matter. But the truth is, it's one of the only tools you got to remove these old, racist, crooked, greedy, evil white dudes and their mentees. Like, we just saw at this last election that a lot of white women, more than half of them in the country, which makes up, I think it's 209 18-year-olds and, literal adults. There's 209 adults in America, 209 million adults in America, and 67% of that 209 million voted in the last election. And you telling me that the 74 million people that supported Trump aren't racist, aren't trying to maintain that status where they keep all of the access to certain resources to themselves? The only way you can defeat that mindset is just to get one. You got to regulate these, make it illegal to be crooked, and then people's hearts and minds might change after that. But as long as you make it so that they don't have to see any consequences for this fucked up view they have on the world, they're gonna keep it that way. And one way we can get that done is to vote and to be engaged in the electoral process and the political sphere after the election. The election's over. I'm still volunteering. We still got work to do after the election. So Trump is responsible for the tyranny that's currently happening. Mitch McConnell and his homies are also responsible, because they're not out denouncing and separating themselves from Trump. As we see here in the Georgia election, Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue are finally starting to align themselves with the Trump methodology and the ideology because they know if they don't, they're going to lose votes. And it's so bad that some of Trump's cronies are coming down here holding rallies, telling them not to vote for Trump, not telling people not to vote for Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue if they don't come out and support Trump. You didn't see that?
Nah.
What's
I
sad is,
mean, I'm not surprised by it, but
yeah, what's sad is there's a black dude named Vernon Jones who's a Kappa down here. He's been stomping pretty hard for Trump, and he was at the rally talking about how, at that same rally saying if Loeffler and Perdue don't start coming out and supporting Trump's bid to overturn the election, don't vote for him. And this is how bad it is, man, because they know if they don't align themselves with the person in power that they're going to lose power. And so, guys, there is no American country. There's an American nation, which means there are boundaries, city limits. There is no American country. The closest thing we have to an American country is the black people that live here, because we're the only people that are out here time and time again appealing to the humanity that all people deserve and have. And that's by us asking for our humanity to be recognized in full. So, yeah, y'all learn about Ella Baker, man.
yeah. And I know that and it was great what you're saying about there is no there is no country. But I always thought that one reason why black people kind of sports appeal so strong to us is because I think that is the one arena to where they do want to bring the most talented in the best out.
Meritocracy.
And it's also the one arena where the rules are very, very transparent and clear.
And enforced.
And
enforced. Yeah.
And that's probably one reason why we excel in sports so much is because one, no matter what, if you own a team, you want the absolute best talent available on that team or whatever, because the only objective is for you to win the game. And it's a clear, precise objective. And the rules are very clear and out front, and it's very visible of what takes place. And I think that's one reason why we've always gravitated towards sports and done really well in it, is because it is a representation of how, if there's an equal playing field, how we will be able to rise to the top.
Which is the flat out the basis of segregation. Anytime you see segregation in policy and ideology and culture and practice, it's all because we feel like we're going to lose. All right. So if you ever see yourself asking yourself, why you don't want people to have access to the stuff that you got to check your heart, man, because it's about property and not lives. If you ever find yourself being jealous or hating on somebody else winning, that means you got to check yourself, because you feel like you might lose something if that person wins. The wonderful thing about America, the wonderful thing about the earth is it has enough resources for everybody to live a comfortable life. I know that's an African concept, some other religious concepts, but there's no need to feel like you won't have access to something if someone else is given the same access. Anything that should make you go harder and get better at your job. But, it ain't African to be greedy. It ain't African to be about self. It ain't African to be about acquisition of property. And you ain't an African just because you black. You African because you believe in the human community. Start looking at it that way. Let's look at service in the community so that we can all have access to the quality of life that we think we should have, right? So again, free college education, not just for you, but for everybody, so that you don't have to worry about getting your big house on the hill and worry about somebody robbing you. If everybody had a house on the hill, do you have to worry about your neighbor robbing you? No. Got to start looking at things in terms of that. Let's help the whole community, not just ourselves. Because that's why stick-up kids exist. Ain't nobody giving them a shot, so they taking shots at whoever got it. But anyway, man, you got anything else you want to add? I feel like we kind of circling the wagon at this point.
Nah, man, I think it was beautifully stated. So, good job.
Yeah, man. Hey, guys, thanks for joining us. Sorry for getting to you a little later the normal. And please like, share, and subscribe. We have 4 people here. We should have 4 likes. We have 4 people in the chat. We should have 4 likes. Please like. Thank you for joining us. If you believe in what we're doing, share it with somebody. Subscribe. Share this video. Hit that share button. If you believe in what we're doing. We have 3 shares. I appreciate the 3 shares that have happened. Let's get one more done, and that'll put us at 100%. But we are on YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple. What I guess iTunes is the name of Apple. Stitcher. I'm about to put us on Instagram. I'm about to put us on Twitter. Just come back and check us out and share what we got going on. It's a labor of love, which means we're doing it because we love y'all. We're doing it because we love the community, and we want you guys to everybody come up together, because there's no point coming up by yourself and have to worry about the person that you left behind robbing you.
All right. Thanks for rocking with us. God bless. Peace.